push yourself. You push yourself to that point where you feel that thought is coming back. It's time to rest. And when the mind says it's time to rest, that's the point to keep going. That is that threshold which is going to make the difference afterwards. So discovering your limits on the one side is the first thing. Because discovering your limits means you have a vision about what you can do, and at the same time the limit is showing you what you cannot do.
Do you know how long it's going to take to get good at the thing you want to get good at? Yeah, you got to get started now. Yeah, it's going to take you longer than you want it to, but shorter than you think. You can't get good if you don't get started. A year from now, you'll be grateful that you started today. When are you gonna put some action to it? I'm just not good at this. It's like, yeah, of course you're not, because you haven't started. You cannot get good if you do not get started.
All life forms strive to the max of its potential except human beings. How tall will a tree grow? As tall as it possibly can. You never heard of a tree growing half as high as it could. No, trees don't grow half. A tree drives its roots as deep as it can, reaches as high as it can, produces every leaf it can, every fruit it possibly can. To the max. Every life form strives to the max except human beings. Now, why not human beings? Jot this down. You've been given the dignity of choice. You're not a robot. You don't have to repeat this year the same as last year. You can tear up last year's plan, develop a new plan. So, the dignity of being a human being. Now, here's the choice on being a human being. To be part of all we were meant to be, or to be all. To strive for all, or half, or part, or some. The choice is up to you.
I'll take on whatever challenge is in front of me. I'll take it on, because a lot of people don't have that courage, and it's hard to be brave. It's fucking hard to speak up for what you believe in.
Starve your distractions, feed your focus. Distractions don't just steal your time, they steal your potential. Every notification, every scroll, every wasted moment is an enemy dressed as entertainment. Every second you give them is a moment you will never get back. When you starve your distractions, you create room for the only thing that matters: growth.
And your character is so important. And character isn't defined by times of happiness and joy and when everything is going your way. It's about, you know, when things aren't going your way, when maybe you don't get the opportunity, when maybe you put all the work in the world into something and it doesn't go your way. Who are you in that moment?
You're feeling the most trapped and down and nothing can go right. I feel like those are the moments that define me, that are like, what am I gonna do now? How do you respond to that? Thinking your way, feeling your way, working your way through those things. On the other side, you know, you're the closest to getting what you want is always the hardest. People give up right before they get what they've always wanted to get. People quit and they give up. And I will not be the person who quit before I got what I wanted.
But I'm starting to realize, bro, when you dance to your own rhythm, when you play by your own rules, and you living through your vision, that's a perfect indication you're doing it correctly. Because they literally don't see what you see. They don't see it. They don't see what you see. They don't see as far as you see. And they don't understand why you see what you see.
Reality is that most people don't change. Most people live the same 6 months 100 times in a row and then they die. They go to the same places, they make the same jokes, they have the same small talk, they work at the same job, and then they die because they were never willing to be uncomfortable, because they were never willing to change. And a lot of people get real uncomfortable when I talk about this stuff. But most people are average, and most people stay stuck in the same patterns. They live the same 6 months for 40 straight years and never change. And so if you want to be exceptional, then you will often have to be the exception.
This is a friendly reminder that the clarity that you're looking for is on the other side of the action that you're afraid to take. So you're stuck in this place of indecision, paralysis by analysis, trying to find 100% certainty that the next move you're going to make is the right move, Otherwise, you'll be miserable. But the funny thing is, you're already miserable because you're stuck in this place of fear and self-doubt. And the clarity that you're looking for isn't going to come until you take the next step.
Yourself. You push yourself to that point where you feel that thought is coming back. It's time to rest. And when the mind says it's time to rest, that's the point to keep going. That is that threshold which is going to make the difference afterwards. So discovering your limits on the one side is the first thing. Because discovering your limits means you have a vision about what you can do, and at the same time the limit is showing you what you cannot do at the moment. It is also to condition myself to a certain vibe. That vibe is, I don't know what this life is gonna bring, but there is no alternative. Then when the challenge comes, when life is getting hard, there is no alternative for me than to just keep going.
When we no longer know which way to go, we have come to our real journey. What if the experience of feeling lost or confused was inviting you into a deeper inquiry with your soul? What might it be asking you to look at, to feel, to change, or to release? And what is one step you can take to honor this invitation?
You can't be great at anything without effort. What appears to be raw talent is usually the result of a skill that's been refined over time. Nobody is born a master of their craft. Don't be discouraged by the abilities of other people. They all started off as beginners who doubted themselves too. But the difference is, they never gave up. So speak it into existence. Surround yourself with people who are on a similar path. Keep pursuing the things that interest you, even if you're not the best at it yet. Because with consistency and effort, it's only a matter of time.
You have to work every single day. I think that's where your confidence comes from. Because when nobody's looking, because that's what you're gonna be able to fall back on. And that's what you're gonna be able to rely on when push comes to shove.
What is your attitude like? How do you respond to those things? You know, because that says so much more about who you are than what you say or when things are going well. You know, it's so easy to put on a smile and be faithful when things are going your way, you know, but when you get tested, you hit an obstacle in life, you hit a setback, who are you in those moments? Because that's true character.
Whenever you feel negative or unhappy about anything, you say, wait a minute, I'm responsible. I'm responsible for my life. I'm responsible for what happens. I can't change the past, so I'm not going to spend a second worrying about the past. I'm going to become so busy working on my future and my goals that I don't have time to think about the past.
Before you can do something, you must first be something. Before you can do what you would most like to do, you must first become the person who can do it. The secret is to get and hold fast in your mind the mental image of the person you would most like to be. Then in every situation, you act and talk as you feel that person would. You make the kind of decisions you think that person would. This is the way to constantly grow into a better, more effective person. Now, your life will not be transformed overnight. There'll be no sudden miracles, perhaps, but steadily, day by day, you'll grow into the image you hold in your mind. If you doubt this, try it for 30 days and watch what happens. You've got nothing to lose. The time is going to pass anyway. Why not put it to work, becoming the person you most want to become? It's the trick of the experts in every field.
If you have an idea that you genuinely think is good, if there is something that you feel is good, something you want to do, something that means something to you, try to do it. Because I think you can only do your best work if you're doing what you want to do, and if you're doing it the way you think it should be done. And if you can take pride in it after you've done it, no matter what it is.
It's so easy to be great because most of the world is weak. If you are even remotely a savage, you will run these people over. It's all out there for the taking right now.
One of the hardest things that a person can experience is giving every ounce of themselves. Blood, sweat, tears, hours and hours of practice, dedication to perfecting the craft and improving, and not seeing the result. And going to sleep knowing that they're going to have to wake up the next day and go at it just as hard.
Take the pain and make it part of your medicine. We all experience pain. We all experience suffering. Many of us have experienced trauma of one type or another, and that can consume you. I mean, it can consume you. But it's like fire, right? It can consume you, but you can also harness it and use it for different things.
You can be the person who's committed. You can be the person who says, this is going to fucking work no matter what happens, no matter how frustrated I get, no matter how angry I get, no matter what, I'm fucking doing this. Those are the people that are gonna win.
Heroes and villains always have the same backstory, pain. The difference is what they choose to do about it. Villain says, the world hurt me, I'll hurt it back. The hero says, the world hurt me, I'm not gonna let it hurt anybody else. Heroes use pain, villains are used by it.
Laugh. Laugh. Embrace the journey and the process of life. You only get stronger hiking by going uphill. Nobody gets stronger hiking by just going downhill.
Is it worth it? Is the fight worth showing up to? Well, ladies and gentlemen, if this truly is something that you want, going at it every single day should be worth the fight. It should be the long, late nights. It should be the early mornings, going through it even when you're tired, saying no to the things that tempt you, the sweet, immediate gratification, just to get a little bit closer to that goal.
When someone closes a door in your face, all you have to remember is when God allows them to close the door in your face, all God wants you to do is walk up the hall. It's some more doors. Hey, stop. The door is closed for a reason. Because God just wants you to walk up the hall because he got another door. It's bigger, and when you open it and get behind it, you ain't gonna believe what's back there. But you will never get to it if you stand in front of that door crying.
But you have to accept the fact that you can set yourself a goal that you can attain, and there's not going to be much glory in it to begin with. Because if you're not in very good shape, the goal that you could attain tomorrow isn't very glorious. But it's a hell of a lot better than nothing, and it beats the hell out of bitterness, and it's way better than blaming someone else. It's way less dangerous, and you could do it.
Confidence comes from this, because the disease of lack of confidence is you're obsessed with everybody else thinks about you. What are they going to think? What are they going to think? What are they going to think? That's the symptom. The disease is you're worried about your reputation with everybody else because you don't have a good one with you.
If your past self could see where you're at today, think of how impressed they would be. One of the greatest ways you can overcome self-doubt is to realize how far you've come. Maybe you're not exactly where you want to be, but you're a lot better than where you were. And the key is to wake up every single day, put one foot in front of the other, keep moving and keep growing.
If your reputation with self is exemplary, you're not concerned about your reputation with others. So self-confidence comes from one simple thing. It comes from keeping the promises you make to yourself. That's it. If you begin to consistently keep the promises you make to you, you will begin to stack upon that self-confidence.
You can do what you put your mind to. And if you continue to put your mind to it, the game opens up new levels. And each new level that gets opened up, you're able to adapt a different mindset and a different approach. You can stop at that level, or you can go, I want more levels. I want more fucking levels.
Sometimes when you're in a dark place, you think you've been buried, but actually, you've been planted.
But you have to be willing to stick to this path. Commit to this journey. You have it within you. You do. And when you get to the end of it, you'll understand why.
Just don't give up, even if right now it doesn't make sense. One day, I'm very, very sure, when you start to see the connections and things fall into place, you will maybe also realize that it couldn't have been different. Giving up was just simply not the question, was simply never an option. The winners continue where the losers stop.
So what stops you becoming the fullest version? It's the things in you that whisper to you that you cannot be the things that you hope for. It's not usually prohibitions, it's inhibitions. What stops us are the lies we believe that are not true.
To launch towards your goal, never consider the possibility of failure. Always forward, never backward. Always forward, never backward. Never consider the possibility of failure. Your ability to persist in the face of setbacks and disappointments is vital to all great achievement, and it's always a decision that you make. It's not the external environment, it's always the internal environment.
Opportunity mixed with difficulty. Opportunity mixed with challenge. We've got a chance to grow like never before, but I'm telling you, there's going to be many enemies that's going to try to prevent us. As soon as you plant the garden, the busy bugs and the noxious weeds are out to take it, and you've got to learn not only to nourish your values, you've got to learn to do battle with your enemies. Whatever threatens you, I'm asking you to threaten it back. Take care of your responsibility, but don't take anything off anybody.
Greatness has no moods. You can't just be in the mood to be great. You can't just be in the mood to be a hard worker. You can't just be in the mood to be disciplined. It doesn't work that way. It has to become who you are. It has to consume you. It has to be your identity. Despite what I'm going through, despite my past failures, despite what people are saying about me, I'm going to get it done. I'm going to execute. It's not what I do, it's who I am. And life will seem like it's giving you hundreds of reasons to not execute today, but it's just a test to see how bad you really want it.
The version of you that you are right now is why you have what you have. You got to make a complete identity switch to get something different. And so what happens is when people aren't ready to do that, they will always go back to the low-hanging fruit that they're accustomed to, because your presence will require something different.
So I was just failing. I kept failing and kept failing and kept failing. So I had to teach myself how to fail right. And what that means is when I fail, I can't spend much time in that fail zone. I have to be able to get up and get after the next day just as fast. So the big thing is know that if you have big goals and big dreams, along the way, failure is going to happen. So how fast do you get up from that?
The easiest thing in the world to do is to complain, blame, and quit and settle. That's the easiest thing in the world to do. But it takes real work to deconstruct and to reconstruct the thought process and the mindset of an individual when they're trying to change something.
You got to stick to the script. You got to continue to take steps every single day. Even if things don't always work out, don't waver. Don't just start to go off the path because you're not getting what you want. You know what I mean? And trust the process. Have faith that things will work out. And that this moment, what you're going through is teaching you something.
In life, you have to have no fear. You have to have no fear. You have to believe in who you are and what you do, and just go and get it.
What are you waiting for? In all honesty, what are you freaking waiting for? You know, there's not just gonna be a day where, for no reason, you're gonna just wake up and say, I'm gonna go to the gym every day in perpetuity. You know, that doesn't really happen.
Most people don't lead their life, they accept their life. And when you accept your life,
you are living on things that are not worthy of your time and effort and energy. To go uphill, you have to be intentional. Nobody ever went uphill by accident. You've never read a book on accidental achievements. You have to be intentional with what you do and who you are.
As far as I can tell, it's just about letting the universe know what you want and working toward it while letting go of how it comes to pass. Your job is not to figure out how it's going to happen for you, but to open the door in your head. And when the door opens in real life, just walk through it. And when I say life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you, I really don't know if that's true. Why not take a chance on faith as well? But faith, not hope. But faith. I don't believe in hope. Hope is a beggar. Hope walks through the fire and faith leaps over it.
You know yourself better than anyone, but sometimes you fall into the trap of believing the world. You're the only one who knows what's best for you. You don't need to look for answers anywhere else. They're inside of you. There's going to be noise from every corner. Ignore it. Stay true to yourself, because when you do, every challenge becomes a victory waiting to happen.
Every day, sunrise, sun goes down. So that means there is a up, there is a down. Since we are born, we have inhaled 50% of our times, we have exhaled 50% of our times. Our heart, the same. Sucking the blood, pumping the blood, also the same. Meaning always 50-50. Always the exchange between left and right, up and down, bright and dark, in and out, success and failure.
The hardest thing to get people about success, the hardest thing is to start. Start, man.
Every morning when you get up, say over and over to yourself, do it now, do it now, do it now. I do it now, do it now. Whenever you have this tendency to procrastinate, program your subconscious mind with this automatic conditioned command, do it now, do it now, do it now. The key to overcoming procrastination is to develop a sense of urgency. Be the kind of person who gets things done quickly. Be the kind of person who launches fast on a task.
5 choices, in our life. We can be bad at what we do. We can be average at what we do. We can be good at what we do, or we can be excellent, or we can be elite. All right? And everybody has a choice as to what they want to do and how they want to do that. But if you're going to be excellent or elite, you got to do special things. You have to have special intensity, you have to have special focus, you have to have a special commitment and drive and passion, all right, to do things at a high level and a high standard all the time. It doesn't matter what God-given ability that you have, that probably can make you good. But without the rest of it, I'm not sure you ever get excellent or elite.
Remember that it's not the things that happen to you. Like, you might not be able to control everything that happens to you, right? It's inevitable. Things are going to happen that are out of your control. But the one thing that is always in your control is how you respond, your perspective, your mindset. And that's the thing that you need to be taking responsibility for and taking accountability for, is how you respond to these things that happen to you in life. Things are going to happen. You're going to be hurt. You're going to get faced with adversity. You're going to be heartbroken, right? You might lose somebody. Whatever it may be, there's so many things that will happen to you that aren't in your control. And you need to focus on responding in the way that is going to help you, that is going to nurture you and help you move forward instead of keeping you stuck.
Don't really let anybody take away that dream from you. Nurture it, water it like you water the flowers. Even if you find only one person in this world that will accept, embrace, and support your dreams, find that person and dream big, because you can make it.
The goal that you seek, or the prize that you're seeking, is in the work that you're not doing. No matter where your goal is in terms of its height,
or how delusional it may seem, you still gotta aim for it and just figure out whether or not you'll get there later.
Something in you has to wake up. And usually the only person that can wake it up is you. But if you don't have a little flame, you're done. I can't light it for you. And that's the harsh reality of this life that I want to get across so fucking bad. You have to explore, examine the insides of yourself. And what do you really want out of life?
Thoughts are the language of the brain, and feelings are the language of the body. And how you think and how you feel creates your state of being. So if you think insecure thoughts, in a matter of seconds, you are going to feel insecure. Brain is monitoring how you're feeling, and you think more insecure thoughts, which then makes you feel more insecure. And the repetition of that cycle conditions the body to become the mind of insecurity. And whenever you say, I am anything, you are commanding your mind and body into a destiny.
Even if you're tired, you can still go to the gym. Even if you're annoyed with your spouse, you can still speak in a manner that's loving. Even if you don't feel like doing that hard work, you can still push yourself to do it. Your feelings aren't a choice. Your behavior and your thoughts are always a choice.
Life is about loss. As time goes on, we lose fights, we lose people we love, we lose our hair, and then we lose our life. You know? It's all a loss. But from all these losses, we learn so much.
When everything is falling apart in your life, when people are leaving you, when people are betraying you, when people are not coming through with their word, are you still going to put in the work? Are you still going to execute? Are you still going to do today what you told yourself that you would do yesterday?
Seeing opportunities instead of seeing punishments, and instead of seeing downturns in your life, seeing opportunities, it's just going to have such a much better impact on the way where you get to.
A constant vision of what it is you want to achieve, see it accomplished, and go all out. Find a way to win in spite of the setbacks, in spite of the disappointments, in spite of your failures. I tell people, fail your way to success. I have a saying, is life knocks you down trying to land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up.
I'm continuing to take the steps each and every day and move in the direction that I know is aligned with, my calling and my truth, then I know that I'll get to where I need to be when I need to be there, right? And all that's doing is distracting you from moving in a direction that you need to be moving into, and the more you focus on what everybody else is doing, the more you're going to continue to make decisions that aren't aligned with what you should be doing.
Think strategic all the time. Before any action or any inaction, ask yourself this question. Is this action going to make me stronger or weaker? Will this action move me toward the strategic long-term goals I am trying to achieve in my life? And do not lie to yourself. You have to tell yourself the truth. And the truth is, you have time. You have the skill, you have the knowledge and the support and the willpower and the discipline to get it done.
Like at a certain point, eliminate the outcome. Stop being driven by rewards. Stop being driven by outcomes. Stop being driven by, if I get this, I'm gonna do this. Just work. And if you don't get what you thought you were gonna get, show up and still go to work. What's more important, what you acquire or who you become? A lot of people think what they acquire is the thing that makes them who they are. No, it's who you become in the process of chasing what you want to acquire, right? Change expectation for appreciation. That didn't turn out the way you want them to turn out. But most importantly, man, approach it and eliminate the outcome, right? Go forward, work, go to work.
A thought of who we want to become should produce the feeling of it instantaneously.
In other words, the thought of your future should produce the feeling that it already happened instead of the feeling of lack because it hasn't happened. How many people understand that? That's where your attention and your energy is spent. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter what you believe in, doesn't matter the color of your skin, what you eat, I don't care, it doesn't matter. I've seen it always. So then the thought of our future, if we're doing this properly, should produce the feeling that it already happened. If the thought of your future produces the lack that it hasn't happened, you're still in your past and nothing is going to change.
And the truth is about life, the ones that really meet the greatest version of themselves, the ones that really live the greatest life, they never arrive. They understand life is not about arriving at a destination. Life is about progressing through the journey.
I just really not how I think about things. For me, it's simply this is something that is important to get done, and we should just keep doing it or die trying. I don't need a source of strength. Not in my nature. I don't care about optimism or pessimism that we're going to get it done.
How do you overcome the suffering of life? Is be a better person. That's how you do it. Well, that's hard. It takes responsibility. And I think, you said to someone, you want to have a meaningful life? Everything you do matters. But everything you do matters. You're going to have to carry that with you.
There's all kinds of different ways to break. You can break physically, you can break mentally, you can break your heart, you can break your spirit, and none of those are fun, and all of those are gonna leave a mark. But the mark that they leave can be the mark of victory, or it can be the mark of defeat.
And the only way you can create a new flow is you start living in intentionality. Everything that you do is on purpose. Everything that you do is for purpose. Everything that you do is purpose. If there's no purpose in it, free yourself from it. Do you hear me? If there's no purpose in it, free yourself from it. If that relationship, that friendship, that partnership has no purpose in it, free yourself from it. That habit, if it has no purpose in it, free yourself from it. How you spend your time, if it has no purpose in it, free yourself from it. That environment, if it has no purpose in it, free yourself from it. Because when you don't live intentionally in your life, you do random stuff. And when you do random stuff, you get a random result.
Do you know what happens the minute you were born? You start to fucking die. And as you grow up, time and gravity and the elements put a stress on your system. And every day that you get up, there are forces working to wear you out. This is just called life. We have to constantly battle against the breakdown of our own strength, our own energy, and our own mental capacity. And you know what I'm trying to say by telling you this? I'm trying to tell you that being tired is part of the fucking game. Okay? So it's not a valid excuse. It's normal. It's a constant. It's part of being human. And if you want to be a high achiever, guess what? You're gonna have to acclimate yourself to being tired way more than you're not tired.
Just imagine yourself from a year from now. Right? The future you from a year from now. And you just made these simple choice shifts, as I call them. You start choosing your peace. You start choosing your joy. You start choosing you. You start choosing your worth. Above everything, everything else will fall into place. Because the greatest feeling in the world, God, the greatest feeling in the world is execution. The greatest feeling in the world is doing what you said you were going to do. There's no greater feeling in the world.
Successful people understand this, guys. Successful people do not use tired as an excuse. In fact, they understand that if they push through the tired, everybody else stops when they're tired. And so by pushing through the tired, you actually create a gap between you and everybody else that you're competing with. And here's another thing that happens when you're tired. Because no one else ever pushes through when they're tired, and because you're someone that always pushes through when you're tired, you learn this unique skill set that allows you to operate at a high level when you're tired.
We don't rise to our ambitions, we fall to our standards. So you don't have what you want, you have what you are willing to accept. The key to life is not necessarily to just raise your ambitions, it's to raise your standards. What you need to do is set higher standards for yourself and refuse to bend. Force life to bend to your will, and you do that by raising your standards. It's the ultimate key to success.
Jim Rohn used to have this phrase, he said, success leaves clues. He said, if there's anything you want in your life, don't assume that somebody has some special gift. They may have a gift, but they probably developed most of it. And if you sow the same seeds, you'll reap the same reward.
Steve Jobs said, when you grow up, you tend to get told that the world is the way that it is, and that your life is to live your life inside the world and try not to get in too much trouble and maybe get an education and get a job and make some money and have a family. But life can be a lot broader than that when you realize one simple thing, and that is that everything around us that we call life was made up by people that are no smarter than you. So build a life. Don't live one, build one.
Be the damn disruptor. Stop talking about the same things that happened to you. Stop talking about that person that did you wrong, okay? They moved on what they like. That was a part of your story. That was a chapter. You have more to be written. You still got breath in your body. You can do something about it. You can turn that situation that was supposed to break you to build you, I promise you. But you gotta stop feeling sorry for yourself.
You might want something. You might want a better life. You might want to have a fit and athletic body. You might want to have a better relationship. You might want to start making more money and win your financial freedom. You might want to have better self-control, self-mastery. You might want to have greater confidence. Whatever those things you want, they're on the other side of the enough is enough moment that you must have.
Saying that everything great that you've ever looked at in your entire life is built by tired people. But if you want to be one of the great people that builds amazing things, you're going to have to do so tired as well. That is the way it works. Are you tired? Are you tired right now? I bet you are a little tired. That's normal. But guess what you can do? You can still act, you can still execute, you can still work, and you can still be successful.
But they're normal people that knew they needed to make a change. And they decided they were going to make a change, and then they made it. And that is what I do. And that is what you can do too. If you have something to change, if you want to change something, change it. Change it now.
If you can dream and not make dreams your master,
We all have dreams. So I figured the best place to make those dreams come true are isolation.
There's something dangerous about a person who becomes addicted to growth. Not dangerous in the sense of harm, but dangerous in the sense of power. The kind of power that comes when you stop settling, stop making excuses, and start living with an unrelenting hunger for becoming better than you were yesterday. Because here's the truth. The moment you become addicted to growth, you become unstoppable. You start seeing obstacles as opportunities, failures as lessons, and challenges as fuel. You don't just survive life, you dominate it. But addiction to growth doesn't come naturally. It's not something you stumble into. It's a choice, a mindset, a decision to stop living on autopilot and start chasing your potential with everything you've got. And when you make that decision, when growth becomes your obsession, that's when you become dangerous. Being addicted to growth means that you're not satisfied with staying the same. It means you're willing to challenge yourself, to step out of your comfort zone. To push past your limits because you know there's more out there for you. It's not about perfection. It's not about achieving some final ideal version of yourself. It's about the process, the grind, the journey, the relentless pursuit of progress. When you're addicted to growth, you stop waiting for life to hand you opportunities. You create them. You stop hoping things will get better. You make them better. You stop letting fear, doubt, and insecurity control you. You face them head on, knowing that the only way out is through.
Motivation might get you started, but discipline keeps you going. And discipline, when repeated long enough, turns into obsession. When you show up every day, when you work on your craft, when you invest in yourself, when you keep grinding even when no one's watching, you start to crave it. You start to need it. It becomes a part of who you are. Discipline isn't about forcing yourself to grow. It's about creating a system that makes growth inevitable. Here's what makes someone addicted to growth dangerous. They don't see obstacles as setbacks. They see them as opportunities. When the rest of the world is complaining about how hard things are, the person who's obsessed with growth is asking, what can I learn from this? How can I turn this into fuel? That's why they're dangerous. Because no matter what life throws at them, they find a way to turn it into power. The moment you think you've made it, the moment you think you've grown enough, is the moment you stop growing. Being addicted to growth means staying hungry. It means never settling, never becoming complacent, never thinking, this is good enough. But it also means staying humble. It means recognizing that no matter how far you've come, there's always more to learn, more to do, more to become.
When you're addicted to growth, you become someone who can't be stopped. You can't be stopped by failure because you know it's part of the process. You can't be stopped by fear because you've learned to face it head on. You can't be stopped by setbacks because you've turned resilience into a habit. You become someone who adapts, who overcomes, who thrives in any situation. And that's dangerous. Not in a destructive way, but in a powerful way. Because the world doesn't know what to do with someone who refuses to stop growing. Here's the beautiful thing about growth. It doesn't just make you stronger, it sets you free. When you're addicted to growth, you stop fearing failure because you know it's just a stepping stone. You stop fearing the unknown because you trust yourself to adapt. You stop fearing judgment because you're too busy becoming the person you're meant to be. Growth isn't just about success. It's about freedom. Freedom to live fully, to take risks, to create a life that's bigger than you ever imagined. If you want to become dangerous, unstoppable, unshakable, untouchable, make growth your obsession. Show up every day. Embrace the discomfort. Turn your setbacks into strength. And never, ever stop. Because the person who's addicted to growth isn't just chasing success. They're chasing their potential. They're chasing the best version of themselves. And that makes you someone the world can't ignore. Grow relentlessly, unapologetically, dangerously.
The journey is the reward, not the destination. The journey is the reward, not the destination. Focus every single day on being aligned and as intentional as you can with your actions, with your perspective, with your attitude, with what you say, with what you put in your body, with how you move, all that stuff. And if you really, really just focus one day at a time at doing that to the best of your ability, right? Not trying to get everything perfect, but really doing that to the best of your ability for that day, all the outcomes and results you want to see in your life will take care of themselves. I guarantee it. And there's going to come a point in time later in your journey where you look back and it's not going to be the results or the outcomes that really was the prize. It's going to be the journey. It's going to be the journey and the experiences and the different seasons you had to navigate, right? The journey is the reward, not the destination. Focus on the day-to-day intentional, aligned habits, values, perspectives, mindsets, and let go of your emotional attachment to the outcomes. Trust.
If you don't know what to pursue in life right now, pursue yourself. It's so easy to get lost and to lose yourself into obsessing over what you want to do because there is no perfect choice and there never will be. So first, just think about who you want to be, because when you work on building your personal happiness first, every other goal in your life will change and fall in tandem with that personal happiness and fulfillment. I say things like building your happiness, building who you want, and not finding, because it's a state of creation from scratch and it's going to take a ridiculous amount of work. It's not something that's just lost and found because you manifested it by staying positive. It's endless hours of growing your self-respect, self-trust in yourself through what you do each day and not just what you tell yourself you will. Self-reflection isn't going to change your life on its own. Productivity strategies aren't going to change your life on their own. Working out isn't going to change your life on its own. But when you're in constant motion of creating yourself, you're laying the bricks for a foundation of an individual who's going to be ready for any opportunity that they're waiting for, even if you don't even know what that is yet. Because the truth is, you're never going to have your life figured out to the T. But it's also not a call to be lazy just because there are no guarantees. It's a call to grow your responsibility as a one-in-one individual, to control as much as you can by ruling yourself first before all else. That you can do. That you can absolutely guarantee. And that's what's going to dictate all of the other accessories in your life to come.
No, you don't need to dream bigger. You don't need a vision board. And you don't need to meditate about your goals every morning. What you need is to master the anti. Understand that everybody receives the same advice. Oh, just dream big, bro. Shoot for the stars, man. But if that stuff works, you would see successful people everywhere you looked. The difference between those who make it and those who don't is that the winners understand where they don't want to be. That's why you need an anti-vision. Ask yourself questions such as these. Who don't I want to be? What life would I hate to live? What work would I not want to do? And once you have these answers, you're going to have the motivation needed in order to actually make progress towards your goals. When you combine the vision with its opposite, you become a force so unstoppable that success has no choice but to find you.
The moment you believe you've arrived is the moment your journey ends. Every success you achieve is not the finish line, it's a stepping stone. Every lesson you learn is the foundation for what's next. The greatest achievers aren't those who know it all, but those who stay curious, stay humble, and keep asking, what more can I do? Because the real flex is showing up again and again, ready to learn, adapt, and push beyond what you thought was possible. There is no secret. Stay hungry and just keep building.
I heard you say there's only one thing I dread, not to be worthy of my sufferings. What's that?
It's how you handle your sufferings. You know, when you're going through something really challenging, how do you show up? within it? Do you choose to become a victim of complaining and misery and shitty, or do you find meaning in how you show up in the suffering?
So I know why you go on Instagram. I know why because you just have the time. You have the time because you don't want to put that time into bettering oneself. So I know why I'm misunderstood. I'm misunderstood by people who have plenty of time on their hands to misunderstand me because they are exactly where I once was. There's the harsh reality of people who troll you, who go after you. They have nothing better to do with your life. It's the truth, but once was that way. I know where it all comes from. I'm frustrated by the fact that you don't have the courage to try to be somebody better than what you're not. And that's the frustrating part.
It just comes down to recognizing opportunities that come with sacrificing just a little bit of the short run for the longer term investment. And honestly, I don't even see it as sacrifice because it's exciting to recognize your capability when you really commit to something. It feels good to have newfound responsibility, to be on a path towards something that you might not be able to conceptualize right now, but you know will be life-changing. It's beautiful to find and realize you have that much faith in yourself. And as corny as it sounds, believe in yourself to do the hard things today, and then you'll have the rest of your life to live a new one.
Our brain cannot process failure. It will not process failure. Because if I sit there and have to face myself and tell myself, you're a failure, I think that's almost worse than death.
It's important to remember that you have a perfect track record for making it through your toughest days. If you were incapable of dealing with life's challenges, you wouldn't be here right now. Now, that doesn't mean that tougher challenges aren't going to present themselves again in the future, but you can't control what will happen then. You can only trust your ability to deal with whatever life throws at you.
Life is always giving you a test, trying to give you a way out, trying to give you an excuse not to show up. This is my excuse today. But guess what? You gotta have the mentality to show up every fucking day of your life. No matter what life throws at you. I don't care what you're going through, what life's throwing at you. It's your responsibility to find your new 100%.
Everything that's happening to you is God is processing. Every difficult moment you're having, He just processing it. That's all He doing. Everything you're going through is preparing you for what you ask God for. And if you need to be tough when you get to where you're going, then He gonna toughen you. If you gotta be more caring along the way, He gonna let you have some trials come your way that's gonna have to produce that in you.
When you're on the path, you want to stay on the path.
Unfortunately, the opposite is also true. Once you step off the path, you tend to stray far. When you don't prepare what you need to do the next day, when you sleep in and then skip your workout and you don't start attacking the tasks that you have because you didn't write them down the night before, that is when you make bad decisions. That is when your will and discipline fail.
Stop telling your visions to other people because they're not going to see it. Because God is talking to you. He's showing you something that He has for you.
And by parent yourself, I mean it's your job to make yourself do the crap you don't want to do so you can be everything that you're supposed to be. And you're so damn busy waiting to feel like it. And you're never going to.
You could change, you should change, you won't change. That's called accumulated disaster. could, should, and will. You can start this whole process. And if you will, then put it into action. The miracle belongs to you.
Well, you should be afraid of taking risks and pursuing something meaningful. But you should be more afraid of staying where you are if it's making you miserable. You're paying a price by sitting there being miserable. You might say, well, the devil I know is better than the one I don't. It's like, don't be so sure of that. The clock is ticking. Yeah. And if you're miserable in your job now and you change nothing, in 5 years, you'll be much more miserable and you'll be a lot older.
Get on the path of discipline and stay on the path. Discipline begets discipline. Will propagates more will.
No one's coming. No one. No one's coming to push you. No one's coming to tell you to turn the TV off. No one's coming to tell you to get out the door and exercise. Nobody's coming to tell you to apply for that job that you've always dreamt about. And because you're only ever going to do the things that you feel like doing right now or that feel good right now, unless you understand that push yourself, you're not going to make your dreams come true.
That as you go through the challenges of life and you look at it and embrace whatever comes to you, don't run from it. Step toward it. Don't try and duck it like most people do. See, most people want it easy. See, if you easy come, easy what? Easy go. See, but when you go at what you're going to deal with and you deal with the difficulties of it, when you handle those hard things close at hand, making those hard decisions right now that you don't want to make, learning those things that you don't like to do, but you know that in order for you to get where you want to go, this is one of the hoops that you have to flip through. And I'm saying to you, whatever you got to do, do it, because if you don't, life is going to whoop you until you surrender.
Think strategic all the time. Before any action or any inaction, ask yourself this question: is this action going to make me stronger or weaker? Will this action move me toward the strategic long-term goals I am trying to achieve in my life? And do not lie to yourself. You have to tell yourself the truth. And the truth is, you have time. You have the skill, you have the knowledge and the support and the willpower and the discipline to get it done.
Feelings aren't a choice. Your behavior and your thoughts are always a choice.
Why do some people end up courageous when so many don't? It's easier not to be. You know, it's easier to cut corners and not bear your responsibility, not take the opportunities that manifest themselves to you, not pay for your sins in the moment. It's easier. And so there's 1,000 or 1,000,000 ways that you can be dishonest.
If I'm not great at it, it must not be my thing. Did you know that only 1% of people are naturally, extraordinarily gifted at something? Think genius, think savants. Do you know what that means for us, the other 99+% of people? If we're going to do anything great in this life, it is going to require discipline. That's the truth. If you are going to accomplish anything extraordinary, it is going to require you pushing through the discomfort and embracing the grind.
Success is a strange thing. Presumably we want success because we think a more successful life will bring us more happiness, meaning, and fulfillment. Here's the problem. We sacrifice the thing we want, happiness, for the thing which is supposed to get it, success. Failure can make you miserable, but I'm not sure that success will make you happy.
Through that struggle, I will now have a better day, and I better can do it again tomorrow, or do something else, because if I just think, well, tomorrow I'm just gonna coast and eat Twinkies and watch TV, oh, hello sadness, my old friend. Hello depression. Because when you're not doing anything, you feel like shit. And that's just a part of being a human being.
Just be calm. When things are going well, be calm. Don't think you're on top of the world. In the sense, you always got to be wary, because I've seen it. I've seen people come. I've seen people go. I've seen them come. I've seen them go. You got to be chill. Just take what's good in your life and move forward cautiously and carefully. And thank God that you have that. It's very, very important not to overextend yourself when you think you got it. Everybody's dispensable.
You might be tempted to think that laziness is the lack of a desire or the lack of drive. It is not that. Laziness is an intense drive. It's an intense desire. The reason that you hoped that the roads would freeze last night is not because you don't have a desire. It's because you had a desire to what? Stay in your PJs all day, sit by a fire, and binge on Netflix. You have a desire to be comfortable. Laziness is driven by a deep desire for comfort. It's that I don't want to do anything that I don't want to do.
And we can pretend that we're something other than what we really are. Human reward systems are carved deeply into your DNA. And if you don't respect that, if you don't respect the mechanism of happiness and fulfillment and what you really need to do in order to feel satisfied in life, camaraderie, love, family, friendship, struggle, testing yourself, learning, all those things are imperative. They're all a giant part of being a person.
Why can't I just do whatever the hell I want, whenever the hell I want to do it with whoever I want to do it with? And the answer is because everything goes to hell if you do that, including you. And you say, well, I don't believe in hell. And I say, well, keep acting the way you are and you will. If you're motivated by the whim of the moment and you place that above all else, that is now your God.
Here's what you should know about winning before you chase it. Winning's not loyal to you. It doesn't care about you. Winning doesn't care how sore you are. Winning doesn't care how much sleep you get. Winning doesn't care how hard you work at times. Winning requires all of you and then more, and it promises you nothing. It's a mastermind at creating fear and doubt in your mind. It causes setback after setback. So the question is about winning. Are you willing to sprint when the distance is unknown?
You won't need that rest. Chances are you will realize that the desire to rest was just weakness. It was the desire to take the path of least resistance, the downhill path, the downward path.
You aren't given any breaks in life. You make them for yourself. We are all being tested in life. While my test is different than yours, you will be tested. And how you face that test and how you overcome that test determines the rest of your life. The one mentality that you must have in life is that regardless of what's in front of you, you still must grind. Is what's your life? What are you giving up? Not by your words, not by what you say, not by the perception of you, not by what you type, not even necessarily by how you're living, but the truth about you.
If you want to know something about yourself, sit on your bed one night and say, what's one thing I'm doing wrong, that I know I'm doing wrong, that I could fix, that I would fix? You'll get an answer. And it won't be one you want, but it'll be the necessary one.
As a child, my parents always told me you could be whatever you want to be. You could do whatever you want to do. And it was something I heard my parents saying it, but I didn't totally believe it. Yet I went out in the world and I carried myself and I held my head high and I stood there and I looked people in their eyes and I talked to people as if I was deserving of everything that this planet has to offer. He who says he can and he who says he can't are both usually right.
So you see all these people that have great things in life that you look up to? It's because they were sacrificed and disciplined long before you ever knew them.